One of the reasons why I never roll in the mud with pigs is because I don't expect to, get out of that mud pile clean. And I like to stay clean, meaning my reputation clean, my spirit clean. A lot of this work to me is about how I feel about it. And, one of the things that is important to me is that I'm proud of what I'm doing. I've never, when I've talked badly about people, even if they deserve it, you know what I mean? That's never sat right in my spirit. And so I have a pet peeve and a way of living that is, if I have something to say to somebody, I say it to their face. And it's much better that way. It's just much better. And my spirit feels so much better than if I'm out gossiping and talking behind people's back. And I talk with our customers transparently. And if you ask anyone who's been on Wake Up Legendary, there's no pre-scripting. There's no get you ready. Here's the questions we're going to answer. It's very transparent. And so I'm never going to respond to that stuff. I'm not going to give a person, that's a valuable advertising space. If I'm going to go saying people's names, they better pay me for that. And I'm joking a little bit, but I'm not. You got to know your value, and you got to know who is worth fighting with and who's worth fighting for. And I've seen people go and jump on that bandwagon of bad-mouthing us or just bad-mouthing people in general. And guess what? They lost their whole business. Not because anybody did anything to them, but just because it's not a sustainable way to grow. Pouring value, pouring inspiration, pouring positivity, building people up, not breaking them down. It's just never, look at politicians, how bad it sounds. It's just, don't do it. A lot of these people out here have lots of different issues going on. They're best dealt with to ignore them. And that's one of the things that I think for all of you who are out promoting and marketing in your business, when you have people who are being negative, when they're leaving negative comments, who are saying mean things, if you ignore them, it is the hardest thing to do. But if you ignore them, they'll go to find somebody else who they'll get a reaction from. And I've proven that in my own life in some moments where I really wanted to just show everybody, just really get in there and fight. And the truth of the matter is I saved so much energy. I was able to focus it in other areas, and the people went away, or they just, because I didn't feed them. That's like feeding people attention. It's for some people, when they're spewing toxicity and negativity, they need your reaction. That feeds them. So you suck the oxygen out of that, and it goes away. It does, because these people just realize that you're on a whole different level than what they are, and that they ultimately end up realizing that they look stupid. It's always better to focus on the big picture, where you're going, and why what you have to offer is just better than everybody else out there, why it's different than everybody else out there, which is how I've positioned myself for the past 10 years. It's not, oh, this person's bad, this person's horrible, this person's bad, this is, all this kind of stuff. Oh, here's why you don't want to, mess with these people. I know that makes me look stupid. So I say, here's how what I'm going to do for you is totally different than anything you've ever experienced before. And that message, from a marketing angle, from a marketing standpoint, is way more powerful.